Multi-architecture and cluster deployments on AWS using Devtron. Devtron is an open source platform for end-to-end Kubernetes application lifecycle management. It integrates with all of your existing tools and is modular from the ground up. Deploy onto Kubernetes in 3 easy steps. Configure clusters, install Devtron, manage global configurations, and deploy onto Kubernetes in production. Now let's get started. It really is easy on AWS to spin up Kubernetes clusters and manage the control plane. Create 2 clusters, one on AMD and one on Graviton. You can install Devtron on the ARM instance by following the steps in the documentation. Then we will deploy the application on both clusters. Devtron is built modular, allowing you to integrate with other CICD tools. We will rely on GitOps to deploy our application. The global configuration will allow you to set up the pipeline and set up the container registry on ECR with the URL and authentication type. You have 2 options: to clone an existing application or to build one from scratch using the Git repository link. Containerization. Select your container registry and choose your containerization process. Devtron provides you with 3 options for containerization. You can build from an existing Docker file, you can create one from scratch using our template, or use Heroku build packs. Here we're going to use our own Docker file and deploy it to the ARM Graviton instance. Use the standard deployment template, or if you feel like experimenting, tweak settings in advanced mode. The advanced mode allows users to view parameter details by hovering your cursor over them. README is just a click away and will save you time on your research. You can set up your CICD pipeline using 3 different methods. For a SecOps integrated pipeline, use either build and deploy from your source code, or select a linked pipeline. A linked pipeline is useful when your application has different source code repositories. The third option is for teams where CI setup is already in place. Developers can link their existing build process for deployment, but this process doesn't allow users to leverage the integrated SecOps provided by Devtron. Creating a pipeline for build and deploy from scratch is rather easy. Specify a trigger for the build to happen from a list of triggers. Leverage the pre and post build options to customize your pipeline for your team's needs. You can even set up scanning and custom task notifications and much more, even updating Jira tickets. Next, we create our final step, a deployment pipeline. For a customized deployment, we will use the advanced option to configure pre and post deployment activities like closing a Jira ticket or sending a notification on Slack. Devtron also provides some out-of-the-box deployment strategies such as blue-green, canary, and rolling. Now that the pipeline has been set up, let us deploy the app. Select the image you want to deploy and start your build. Here we can monitor the real-time status of the build. While the build is getting processed, let us explore config maps and secrets. You get the option to create one from scratch or use a pre-configured external config map. Similarly, you can always create your secrets from scratch or link in an external secrets provider, like AWS's Secret Manager. We can now see that the build's been successfully completed and all of the real-time logs are available here. You don't have to navigate to a console to access logs. The system is generating a cache so that your next build will be even faster. And now that containerization is complete, let us deploy it into our Graviton cluster. All the deployment-related real-time updates can be accessed here. And all of your Kubernetes resources can be accessed here on the dashboard. This quick access to pod logs is supplied with a log analyzer to pinpoint errors faster. And additionally, you can monitor events and manifest settings, which are just a click away. We saw how Devtron makes deployments simple on day one. So get started today at devtron.ai.